Good afternoon. Welcome to the Unto Theolord Ministries channel. Please subscribe, like, and share. Please consider contributing to the ministry, for our primary ministry is to help the ones in jail or in nursing home. And when we go to those local jails and nursing homes, we need Bibles and other printings to hand out to these that are so often overlooked. Please help us reach these needed souls. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the video description. We are also looking to partner with a few Christian businesses as an affiliate. Look into the video description for hyperlinks. Thank you.
Good evening, friends, neighbors, brothers and sisters in Christ. Thank you for coming to the Unto the O Lord YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to talk about hell, the noun hell. Okay? Usually when I talk to other people on Facebook, some of them ask, how long is hell? Well, you need to first define what you mean by hell. I know some of you are then thinking to yourself, what kind of an idiot is this? Talking about what kind of hell? There is only one kind of hell. No, there isn't. In the Old Testament, the word translated as hell, H7585, it is also known as Sheol. It is Hades, or the world of the dead, including, that is talking about a different, including its accessories and inmates, or the grave. Okay? Hell in the Old Testament was often referred to as the grave. In the New Testament, 3 words have been translated as hell. G86, also known as Hades. Again, properly unseen, that is Hades, or the place or state of the departed souls, the grave. So, one definition of hell is the grave, where we go to sleep before the second coming. And yes, I will do a separate a separate video on why I think we will be that almost everybody in that has died up to this point is in the grave, awaiting for the second coming. Okay. Now, let's get to the other 2 words that has been translated as hell. That would be G1067, and it would be Gehenna. Valley of the son of Hinnom, Gehenna, or a valley of Jerusalem, used figuratively as a name for the place or state of everlasting punishment. That is the hell that most people think of when they use hell in the noun sense. The other one, back up. Now, the other word in the Greek that is translated as hell is G5020, and that is then pronounced as Tartaru. Okay? The deepest abyss of Hades. Okay, what is Hades? The grave. Let's read on. to incarcerate in eternal torment, cast down to hell. This one has both the grave and the lake of fire. It is a lesser definition to it. So, we have two different definitions of hell. When you want to speak of hell, we have got to be a little more careful of which hell you want to talk about. The grave or the lake of fire. And in this video, we are going to be specifically talking about the lake of fire. All right, let's get to my next set of notes. Okay, now, now we speak of the second death. What is it? When is it? How does it occur? People thinks that when you go to hell, and again, remember, we are talking about the lake of fire. Everybody there will be tormented there for as long as we are in heaven. That is a scare tactic to then be put on to people trying to get them to convert right now. Yes, I would love to see people get converted when they hear the good news. But let's not scare them. Let's look at one verse we all know. That we all know but don't even think about it. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish. Are you catching that word? For those that do not wish to believe in him will perish. Okay, we all will die of this physical body. So it cannot be, well, they are going to die in this body. We all will. Even when Christ comes again to then call the living up, we will shed this body. This body will die. But John 3:16, whoever believeth in him should not perish. So then if you don't believe, you will perish. Goes on to say, but have everlasting life. A contrast right there. In the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 words. Read those 12 words again slowly, and you will see in that verse, it tells you that he that believes will not perish, but those that do not will perish. Let's go on and read some more verses and see what these other verses say. Revelation 14:11. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they shall have no rest day or night. We can look at that part of it as no rest day or night until their second death occurs. When is that? We don't know. We just know that there will be a second death in the lake of fire. For the first part says, and the smoke of their torment ascendeth forever and ever, and they shall have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast, his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Now, I have just covered this. Let's see, in what video was it? Let me look back. Not that one. I believe it is in the judge not, or maybe it was that of the unforgivable sin that I have discussed the whole deal of worshiping the beast and his image. This is why we need to know who the Antichrist is, so that we don't take that mark or worship the image. Now, Revelation 20, verse 14. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. Hell in this case is the grave. Okay? Death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. We are talking about the spiritual death. How long will they be there? We don't know. Let's not worry about how long they will be there, but rather trying to keep them from going in the first place. Revelation 21:8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Here we see the term second death twice now, once in Revelation 20:14 and again in 21 verse 8. Now, some people will try to point out to the parable of the rich man and Lazarus. Remember, it's a parable. There is a lesson to be learned from the parable. It is not to be taken literally. The parable of the rich man and Lazarus is a parable. Okay. And I am just looking at my notes on this part before I go on to the next. Now then, there is a group of people that will from all appearances of this verse will be burning forever and ever. Let's read it. Revelation 20, verse 10. And the devil that deceiveth them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are. The beast being the Antichrist, and the false prophet to that Antichrist are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. There is no mention of a second death to this group of people. And so it will be Satan, his angels, the Antichrist, and the false prophet. Now, if you have watched my video number 2, the Antichrist, you know who the Antichrist is. That of the papal authority, which is also known as the Pope. Now, there has been 230 something popes since 312 AD. That's a lot of popes. And the false prophet. Now, while it's still theory, It is a pretty strong theory. The false prophet being Muhammad. And I may make a video of why I think this false prophet is Muhammad, giving a lot of correlations. And it is sad to see all of these Muslims are technically Catholic. And they don't know it. Well, let me put it this way, most of them don't know it. There is a few of the upper echelon that knows it. In the Muslim religion / political statement, because it isn't just a religion, it is a also political statement, which is what the Catholic Church is, isn't it? It is a religion and a political statement. But anyway, that is my theory on who the false prophet is. So, we know that for most people, they will suffer a second death. But everybody else, Satan, his angels, the Antichrist, and the false prophet, will be suffering a whole lot longer because they deceived. They deceived, and they willingly deceived. Instead of using scare tactics to bring people to Christ, why don't we show them the love of Christ? Thank you, and have a blessed day.